we didn't sign Odell to trade him.
You know, I want to compete. I want to be legendary.
I just think that catch ruined him.
My goal was always to be in the Hall of Fame, to win trophies, to be able to leave a legacy.
I mean, this is one of the biggest trades we've ever seen in the history of the NFL.
This was purely a football business decision.
John Dorsey's Thanos right now.
I'm very happy to have Odell Beckham as a 17th pick in the 2019 draft.
Nobody else really matters.
I think this moment is going to be more iconic than we all realize.
The entire bar started chanting OBJ. The excitement is real, gentlemen.
I really think we're going to see the fury unleashed.
The Super Bowl down.
Let the games begin.
That was a great segment that they put together. We used it yesterday for the Browns and Odell Beckham Jr., closer analysis of that situation. But now Odell Beckham Jr., we made the point yesterday, he had only been in Cleveland one day since being traded to the Browns for the first day of the entire offseason program, met with the media, said all the right things, and then left.
Yeah.
Back in Cleveland, Chris Mortensen of ESPN reports that he will participate in today's OTA. That's Phase 3, organized team activity. It's basically football practice. But Odell is back. And I think that's good. He needs to establish those relationships with his teammates.
Yeah, no, and again, I think it's also helpful that he's got people there that he knows already. So Jarvis Landry can let teammates know what's going on or what Odell Beckham's like, his old college receiver. All those things are going to help. Yes, you know, you want to get him there. That's great. I'm so glad he is there because we don't have to talk about this and go, why is he not there? But I fully always expected him to be at the mini camp and OTAs. When it comes to on-field football work, you know, Odell Beckham Jr., for the most part, has always been there and been ready to work. And again, you know, how did we first find out yesterday that Odell Beckham Jr. was in Cleveland? Well, there was an Instagram story by Antonio Callaway, and we saw Odell Beckham Jr. in the background. So right away, he was there with the teammates once again. I said this to people last night when we were at our little NBC gathering. People always ask me about Odell Beckham Jr. and the Giants come up, of course, because of my father and everything else. But it's undefeated as far as players I've ever talked to that are around Odell Beckham Jr. He is loved. There is not a player on the team in New York that I could ever find. And I talked to like all different positions, safeties, receivers, offensive linemen, you mention it, they love Odell Beckham Jr. So he might not be always perfect. I get that. And there's things I wish he would have done differently. But at the end of the day, I think we always make a bigger deal about him than we should.
What was the disconnect, though? Because one of the reasons we make a big deal about him is the Giants were exasperated by him. Landon Collins said that last week. What was the problem with the front office? Why didn't they like the guy if the teammates love him and he's one of the best receivers in football?
I think he's a little too brash for them to really, just for lack of a better phrase. You know, I look at the Giants situation in a lot of ways too, and a little bit like we talked about with the Jacksonville Jaguars, where, you know, I think a lot of people on the team, and especially the offensive side of the ball, said, man, we're all being held accountable, but, you know, there was 20 receivers open during the game and the quarterback didn't throw the ball, and he still seems to get to play and nobody talks about it. So I think that added to the dysfunction of everything all together, you know, all around, to where he's frustrated he's not getting the ball. He doesn't feel like the weapons were being utilized, and, you know, he does seem like the type of personality that's not afraid to say things out loud, whether the coaches or the owners are in the room. And, you know, sometimes certain organizations just can't handle that.
They want these guys to be robots.
Yeah, they do.
It's amazing.
Right.
They want them to act a certain way.
This is what we said.
Behave a certain way.
Yeah.
And they'll hurt themselves as an organization to justify getting rid of someone that makes them uncomfortable because of the way the guy is.
Right.
How was it hurting the team?
Yeah, no, I know. I don't think it was a distraction that maybe the public tried to make it out to be.
Well, we'll see what kind of distraction or not he is for the Cleveland Browns. That's for another day.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.